I'll tell you why I like wrestling. It's a dream factory. Do you want to be some sort of fighting elephant? You can. Fancy being obsessed with a hat? Go nuts. Want to tie it into Shakespeare? Hell yeah. It all comes down to the gimmick and what everybody is happy with. Sometimes people do need to step in. And why? Well, here's why. For I am Simon for What Culture, please do subscribe. And this is 10 top secret gimmicks that will blow your mind. Number 10, Christian gets censored. Now, you may have heard this one because it's been written into wrestling lore and confirmed by many a people. It is insane. But back in 2005, Vince McMahon decided he didn't like Christian's face. He thought it was annoying, so came up with the idea to censor it with a blue dot whenever he was on the screen. And no, I'm not kidding. This is what the boss wanted to do. Bruce Pritchard has talked about this openly on his podcast, and that around the same time, we also wanted to take Captain Charisma and have him rip off The Rock. I mean, what were we thinking? Like the recent WWE game, we probably would have called him The Lock or something, and had him do a bad version of the people's eyebrow, and yeah, this would have been terrible. Proper, I don't want to watch that anymore stuff. McMahon must have known this deep down because it didn't go ahead, and Christian was just allowed to be a normal wrestler. It was fine. Shock horror. I mean, he did still leave and go to TNA. I don't blame him. Number 9, Pac is Mighty Mouse. I mean, this one is no surprise either. Just imagine Vince McMahon seeing Adrian Neville for the first time. He's not that tall, but he is jacked. Bingo, Mighty Mouse. It was when McMahon also felt like we needed a superhero character on TV, and Bruce Pritchard is back because he gave us the details. McMahon had been kicking this idea around for ages, and when he saw Pac, bam, here were all of his dreams. He is a high flyer and an underdog, always fights back. It's quite clearly the concept. And I suppose it may have worked with a more family-friendly WWE audience. Have you seen Pac? Talk about not knowing what you got. Number 8, Kenzo, Suzuki, and Hirohito. I don't even like talking about this, but it is important. You're not allowed to get away with it, so reminding ourselves ensures it won't happen again. Sadly though, wrestling in many ways was built on racism and stereotypical gimmicks, which isn't an excuse, but it left this foul stench where promoters seem to automatically go back to these terrible ideas. Kenzo Suzuki got stung with this in 2004, simply because he was Japanese. I mean, come on. Because at first the plan was to bring him in and present Suzuki as the grandson of Emperor Hirohito, who had ruled the country from 1926 to 1989. We only got one vignette for this character, and thank goodness it was pulled, because the message was that he was coming to America, vowing vengeance for the 2 atomic bombs dropped during World War II. For goodness sake. I imagine Kenzo was super uncomfortable about this for obvious reasons. It's also so insensitive. This stuff should be nowhere near wrestling. By its very nature, it's ridiculous. Stick to that side of the road, please. Number 7, the repackaging of the Revival. So another one that is out there for you should you wish to see it. This was bonkers. And in case you don't know, before FTR were FTR, they performed in the WWE as the Revival. I think there was some friction there. As we know, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood are all about the love of wrestling, whereas Vince McMahon is obsessed with sports entertainment. Sometimes those ideologies can crash. It really heated up when the tag team asked for their release because they felt like tag team wrestling wasn't taken that seriously in WWE, and that got denied. They would be staying put in the company, and despite what they had just been told, we then didn't take the Revival seriously, because a concept was put into motion where they would be made to look like jesters. You can see the very real designs on the screen right now. What even is this? It looks like they're about to do magic or something, and if this wasn't a joke at their own expense, given how much Cass and Dax respected the industry, I don't know what is. Now, I actually do think if we had gone ahead with it, these two would have figured it out, because do you remember Usi Hot? That was nonsense too, but they totally embraced it. If this is what they were being asked, so be it. It would have been awful though, and just not helpful at all. Why can't we all just get along? Number 6, Bobby Lashley gets fat. So we should have done this one, and bless Bobby Lashley for pitching it. Now, it is going to sound weird when you see his name associated with such a storyline, because look at the guy. Lashley has a ridiculous physique most people can only dream of. That is some serious hard work and genetics right there. The thing is, Bob knows what he has to do to look like this, so why not go the other way? For he asked one Vincent Kennedy McMahon if they could do a story where he got mega fat after losing his motivation. Maybe he just lost a bunch of matches or something. Soon he would refine his his passion, rebuild his body, and the subtext would be to motivate the fans that yes, you can do it too. I like that message. I mean, we're not going to look like Bobby Lashley, but that's not the point. You're only in competition with yourself when training. I am amazed WWE did say no, though. Sounds like their dream angle. Let's keep things crossed that they do change their mind. I actually think it would be quite hilarious. Number 5, Bray Wyatt is Axel Mulligan. I mean, it's Bray Wyatt. Always going to be a little weird. As you can see, though, here is a man on your screen you may think is Cody Rhodes due to his American Nightmare t-shirt. But no, this is Axel Mulligan, an early creation of one Mr. Wyatt. It was born down in FCW in 2011 after an ill-advised run as Husky Harris on the main roster, though it never made it to TV. Instead, we still saw Husky when the cameras were rolling as Bray tried this out in front of a live audience. You gotta commend that kind of dedication. While we don't really know what he was going for, you can instantly see he's wearing a mask, which would tie into The Fiend. Really, this is where the Eater of Worlds gimmick started. It is what he did right after. So it goes to show, sometimes just do, see where it leads. Number 4, Matt Morgan, Brother of Destruction. That's right. Exactly what you think it is. Because do not forget that when Kane debuted in 1997, he was only meant to be around a short while before losing to The Undertaker and going away. But then the character got over and bam, still going strong today. It's why when Matt Morgan was told he was going to be given the same treatment, he was likely over the moon, could be getting a 20-year career. Revealed by Morgan himself on the Chris Van Vliet Insight show, he was told that after his time in OVW was done, he'd be on Raw as Abel, the third brother of destruction. I'm sure you can figure out the name. WWE even had Matthew start wearing a mask to get ready for the role when plans changed, and all of a sudden Morgan was in TNA. And I do think this is another shame because that man is massive. Even if it had failed, it wouldn't have affected anything the Big Red Machine or the Dead Man were doing. They were well established by then. It could have worked too, you know. And I'm saying that based on nothing. We shall never be sure. Number 3, Caval is the Undertaker's son. The Phenom returns here. And why are we so obsessed in adding to his family tree? Ex-WWE writer and author of excellent book Brian Gewirtz tweeted about this. Low-Key, or Caval as he was known in WWE, was pitched as the Undertaker's long-lost son. You tell me. When this was up in the air, we don't know, as the man in question was only in WWE from 2008 to 2010, and while not confirmed, I think we know what happened here. Caval was not an overly big person. Imagine when Vince McMahon found out about this. You'd also have to think Taker wouldn't have signed off on it, as it's just a bit silly, but anybody would want that, of course. The name association alone. Number 2, Roman Reigns is the boss. This one is mad. If somebody from WWE had just remembered that this has already happened, we could have got to the tribal chief far faster than we did. Because way back in 2012, when he first arrived on the FCW roster and had more creative freedom, Roman Reigns was basically the head of the table. He was more of a mob boss, but come on now, that's just what he's been doing in 2023. Bullies his family, tries to kill his right-hand men. Madness. He also dressed super smart and spoke about himself in the third person, which was likely borrowed from The Rock. And while this needed a lot of work, the genius is looking at you right in the face. You can find footage of this online to make your own conclusions, and it is bonkers at some point in 2016 somebody didn't pitch it. We could have got to the brilliant stuff so much faster. Number 1, Cody Rhodes and Rhodes Industries. You can't say that Cody Rhodes didn't want it. He was trying everything. For whatever reason though, management wasn't having it, but that's where the future creator of AEW would just pitch gimmick after gimmick, including this one. Even though he was stuck with Stardust, he wanted to prove he could do so much more. So the grandson of a plumber filmed this promo, and yeah, you can find it on the internet. Alongside Brandy, his future wife, Cody essentially stood into the shoes of a wrestling Tony Stark as he ran and promoted Rhodes Industries. There is a rawness to it for sure, but the potential is there, and it is no wonder Cody got so frustrated and left in 2016. At the very least, this effort should have been rewarded, but nope, you'll be Stardust, pal, and you'll be Stardust forever. Whether or not this even made it to Vince McMahon's desk, we don't know, but the truth lies within. If WWE had just given Rhodes a chance, history would have been very different. Probably better it did go the way that it did. The game we changed. Know of any other top 10 secret gimmicks that will blow your mind? Make sure you let us know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, subscribe, and click one of the videos that is on the screen right now. You can also go to whatculture.com where you can read more articles, and you can follow us at social media at WhatCultureWWE and Simon Miller 316. But above all else, go out there and have the best damn day of your life until the newspapers write about you. I know you can do it. Hug, kiss, hug, kiss, hug, kiss.